Hello, my dear learners of class 12. How are you all? Staying safe? This is all we want. We all may stay safe. So, your learning coach, Nirupma Gupta, welcomes you all to English English. And today we are dealing with Indigo. Earlier we went through the brief of Indigo, and since it's a long lesson, and moreover, it's a very important lesson from the point of view of your syllabus, I am taking it very slowly so that you all understand it properly, isn't it? So, today we'll be discussing multiple choice questions of this lesson. As there are so many questions, I am totally unable to take short questions and long questions in this session. So I thought of not hurrying up, rather going slow and deal with this lesson in detail so that you don't have any problem while revising. Great? Yes. So, we talk about the chapter Indigo. It's about the Indigo episode is all about how Gandhiji handled this problem and how he first time to all the farmers, all the advocates over there, that we have to become self reliant. In a way, he taught us to become self reliant. And the other point, why this episode of Champaran is so important, because from here onwards, there was a call made for the Britishers to go back. Bharat Chodo Andolan started from here onwards. So, in a way, Champaran episode becomes very important. So, we all have gone through the details. Now, I will not talk much about the lesson as there are so many MCQs. So, now we move on to our multiple choice questions. Already? Okay. So, here I share screen with you all. Just a second. Yes. So, not going in much of the detail of the chapter, I start with the MCQs. So, the first multiple choice question is, who is the author of the lesson Indigo? As I always tell you, that you should become familiar with the author of each and every lesson, and you should at least know the authors and which author has written which lesson, or which lesson has been written by which author. So, Indigo has been written by, let's see the options: Louis Fischer, Leo Tolstoy, Mark Twain, Charles Dickens. So, while going through the brief, I gave you the name, and I also requested you to go through the lesson. Every time I take the lesson, I tell you to read the lesson so that you develop a better understanding. So, I am sure that you all know about the author, and the author is option A, Louis Fisher. Now, let's move on to the next one. Indigo is an excerpt from which book of the author? As I told you, it's an excerpt from a big book. And what is the title of that book? Men and Politics, Life of Lenin, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi, or none of the above? Use brain. And you will go on to the option C. Yes, correct. And option C is The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. So the book was The Life of Mahatma Gandhi, and from there a short excerpt was taken for your syllabus. Right? Let's move on to the next one. What is the message conveyed in the lesson Indigo? I started the lesson with this. Yes. What message the author has tried to convey through this lesson? Efficient lawyers speak aloud. Wise and courageous leadership can resolve any problem. So, if we go through the lesson, we it becomes very clear to all of us that because of the leadership, this problem was handled so well. जिस तरह से गांधी जी ने इस पूरे एपिसोड को पहले समझा डिटेल में और फिर उसको हैंडल किया, तो इतने अच्छे से इतना बड़ा इशू इतने तरीके से रिजॉल्व हो गया. सो विच ऑप्शन डू यू थिंक इज द करेक्ट वन? यस, ऑप्शन सी. Why did M.K. Gandhi fight in Champaran? Why did Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, full name? To secure justice for the oppressed. Oppressed कौन होता है? शोषित, जिनका शोषण किया जा रहा है, जिन्हें दबाया जा रहा है. To get popularity, to show power, to boast of his intelligence. Why did he fight? Very, very clear. Answer in itself is so clear. To secure justice for the oppressed. I am sure you all knew the answer, isn't it? Now, why was Motihari black with peasants? There is a spelling mistake. It's not back with peasants, it is black with peasants. Because of people's right, because of the oppression of the British, because their champion was in trouble. None of the above. You know what happened in Motihari? When the peasants and the people around Champaran came to know that some Mahatma, कोई महात्मा आए हैं हमारे लिए लड़ने के लिए, और उनको ब्रिटिश सरकार तंग कर रही है, तो क्या हुआ था? सब लोग मोतिहारी पहुंच गए और पूरा मोतिहारी में सिर्फ सिर ही सिर नजर आ रहे थे. सो व्हाट विल बी द करेक्ट ऑप्शन? यस, ऑप्शन सी. बिकॉज देयर चैंपियन वॉज इन ट्रबल. उन्हें पता चला, अरे जो हमें बचाने आए हैं वो मुश्किल में है, चलो सारे सब के सब उस दिन मोतिहारी पहुंच गए. ओके, लेट्स सी द नेक्स्ट वन. How did Gandhi address the actions of the people of Motihari? How did he address? कि क्या है ये लोगों के एक्शन, क्या है, क्यों सबके सब आ गए? As liberation from the fear of the British, by calling them courageous, by chiding the lawyers, none of the above. Yes. He said that before doing anything for these people, मेक देम फ्री फ्रॉम द ब्रिटिश फियर. क्योंकि अंग्रेजों का बहुत खौफ था, और खासकर गरीब लोगों के मन में तो बहुत ही ज्यादा था. उनके साथ बहुत शोषण होता था, बहुत अत्याचार होता था. तो पहले तो उन्हें उस डर से लिबरेट कराना था, आजाद कराना था, isn't it? तो मोतिहारी में जो लोगों का एक्शन था वो क्या था? ब्रिटिशर्स से के फियर से आजाद होना. So here the option A is the correct option. Now let's move on to the next. What was Gandhiji's demand from the British landlords? क्या डिमांड किया था उन्होंने जब ये प्रूव हो गया कि यस दे आर गिल्टी, दे हैव बीन डूइंग रॉन्ग विद द इंडियन पेजेंट्स फार्मर्स? सो गांधी जी ने क्या डिमांड किया? 30% रिफंड एज पेमेंट, 40% रिफंड एज पेमेंट, 50% रिफंड एज पेमेंट और 10% रिफंड एज पेमेंट. यस, याद करिए, उसका हाफ उन्होंने एग्री किया था. तो इट वॉज 50%. So option C is the correct option. Now next is, how much did Indigo planters offer to pay? जो लैंडलॉर्ड्स थे उन्होंने कितना पे करने को एग्री किया? उन्होंने सोचा कि गांधी जी मानेंगे नहीं, फिर बहस हो जाएगी और बात यहीं की यहीं खत्म हो जाएगी. सो दे अग्रीड टू पे 25%. उन्होंने कहा नहीं, हम तो 25% दे सकते हैं. और गांधी जी ने क्या किया? तुरंत उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, बिकॉज ही न्यू कि ही सेड कि कुछ तो वो कॉम्पनसेशन दे रहे हैं ना, मुआवजा दे रहे हैं, उसके साथ साथ उनका ये मान लेना कि वो गलत हैं, ये बहुत जरूरी था. तो वो पैसे के साथ साथ, रुपीस के साथ साथ, मनी के साथ साथ वो अपनी प्रेस्टीज भी दे रहे हैं, उनकी इज्जत भी जा रही थी. फर्स्ट टाइम दे हैड agreed that they were at fault. ये बात ज्यादा बड़ी थी. Now let's move on to the next one. Who briefed Gandhiji at Muzaffarpur? Government officers, politicians, farmers, lawyers. किसने उनको ब्रीफ किया? सारी इंफॉर्मेशन इकट्ठी करके किसने दी? गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स वो तो कभी नहीं देंगे, वो तो ब्रिटिश थे सारे, वो तो कैसे देंगे? पॉलिटिशियंस वहाँ कोई था ही नहीं. फार्मर्स वो तो अनएजुकेटेड थे, कैसे देते? तो किसने दी? लॉयर्स ने. सारी इंफॉर्मेशन लॉयर्स ने उनको ब्रीफ दिया. हु वॉज राजकुमार शुक्ला? जहां से कहानी एक्चुअली स्टार्ट हुई. दिस शुड हैव बीन क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, है ना? Who was Rajkumar Shukla? Was he a lawyer? No. Was he a government official? No. Was he a politician? No. Then who was he? A poor peasant. He was a poor peasant. तभी तो इतना परेशान था और अपने किसान भाइयों के लिए लड़ने के लिए वो वहां पर पहुंचा था कि मेरे साथ चलो. Where was the annual Congress party session held? कहाँ पर चल रहा था annual convention? At Varanasi, at Mumbai, at Bangalore, at Lucknow. Yes. Do you remember? Yes, it was in Lucknow. Very good. Option D. Why did Rajkumar Shukla come to Lucknow at India annual Congress party session? किस लिए आया था वो? To be rich, to become rich, to be famous, to fight and get money, to complain about the landlord system in Bihar. किस लिए आया था? I don't think I have to tell you now. Yes, you have given me the answer, and the answer is to complain about the landlord system in Bihar. Good. Now, next question. What was the statement that Gandhiji read pleading himself guilty? जब कोर्ट में पहुंचे और उन्होंने कहा हाँ भाई मैं कसूरवार हूं, तो उन्होंने एक स्टेटमेंट प्रेजेंट की. वो स्टेटमेंट क्या थी? क्या उन्होंने ये माना दैट आई एम ए लॉ ब्रेकर, दैट ही वाज ए लॉ ब्रेकर? नो. दैट ही वांटेड टू कमांड? नो. that he was not a lawbreaker and came to render humanitarian and national service, or none of the above. क्या कहा था उन्होंने कि आई एम नॉट अ लॉ ब्रेकर, मैं तो अपने भाइयों की मदद करने के लिए यहाँ पर आया. So which option do you think is the correct one? Yes, option C. Let's see the next question. Why did Gandhi protest at Motihari courthouse? क्यों प्रोटेस्ट किया था उन्होंने? To be famous, to show his power, to humiliate the British, to protest the court's order to postpone the trial. आपको याद होगा ट्रायल कोर्ट में था, तो उस दिन सारे आसपास के किसान और इतने thousands of people came to Motihari, that Motihari became black. Now the Britishers were scared, डर गए कि आज कुछ गड़बड़ ना हो जाए, तो उन्होंने कहा कि केस को पोस्टपोन कर देते हैं. सो against this, Gandhiji protested that this should not be postponed. So, which option goes with this? To protest the court's order to postpone the trial. Great. Now, next. Why did Gandhi consider the Champaran episode a turning point? A turning point था. इंडियन फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल में चंपारण एपिसोड एक टर्निंग पॉइंट था, एक वो कहते हैं ना माइलस्टोन था, मील का पत्थर था. Why? Its voice spread far because the British were scared to protest the court's order to postpone the trial. Yes, its voice spread far and wide. वो जो गूंज थी ना, वो दूर तक फैली. So, which option? Now you all know. Option A is the correct option. Now let's move on to the next one. Question number 16. I hope you all are able to understand. For you only, I am going so slow. Now, question number 16 is, how did Kasturba help Gandhiji? Kasturba kaun thi? Gandhiji's wife. And she also came there when he found that these people were socially and culturally backward. So he called many volunteers, and his own son and wife also came there. So, how did she help him? By speaking to the people, by walking with him, by moving here and there, by teaching ashram rules and cleanliness. Yes, उनमें सेल्फ हाइजीन की बहुत कमी थी, बहुत गंदे रहते थे और उसकी वजह से बीमारियां होती थी. दे वर सो पुअर. मैंने आपको बताया कि उनके पास 2 पेयर्स ऑफ क्लोथ्स भी नहीं होते थे. सो कैसे वो सरवाइव करें, कैसे वॉश करें क्लोथ्स को? तो उनको क्लीनलीनेस और हाइजीन का पाठ पढ़ाना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी था. सो विच ऑप्शन विल गो विद दिस? Option D. Very good. Health conditions in Champaran were, कैसी थी health conditions? Miserable, बहुत खराब. Tolerable, बर्दाश्त के लायक. Under control, fairly good. आप सोच ही सकते हैं कैसी थी. Yes, they were really miserable. So option A is the correct option. Who volunteered to work in Champaran? किन्होंने वॉलंटियर? गांधी जी ने आह्वान किया कि यहाँ के लोगों की मदद के लिए आइए, ये कल्चरली बहुत बैकवर्ड है, ये सोशली बहुत बैकवर्ड है, इनको हाइजीन के बारे में नहीं पता. देन हु केम फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल? 2 disciples of Gandhi and their wives, Kasturba and the eldest son of Gandhi, Mahadev Desai and his wife, none of the above. So सबसे पहले कौन आए थे? 2 disciples of Gandhi and their wives. So option A is the correct option. Let's move on to the next one. Yes, question number 19. After Tiruhat, Where did Gandhi go? लखनऊ, मोतिहारी, कानपुर, अहमदाबाद. तिरहुत डिवीजन के बाद वो कहाँ गए थे? यस, ऑप्शन बी, मोतिहारी. Now let's move on to the next. What happened when Gandhi visited the secretary of British Landlords Association? क्या हुआ था? The secretary proceeded to bully him. The secretary advised him forthwith to leave Tirhut. The secretary said that they could not give any information to an outsider. The secretary was very helpful. क्या कहा था उसने? उसने कहा कि हम एक बाहर के आदमी को कोई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं देंगे. सो ऑप्शन सी. Question number 21 asks you, why was Gandhi not permitted to draw water from Rajendra Prasad's well? आपको ध्यान होगा कि राजकुमार शुक्ला गांधी जी को लेकर राजेंद्र प्रसाद के यहाँ गए और राजेंद्र प्रसाद उस टाइम घर में नहीं थे. तो गांधी जी भी इतने सिंपली ड्रेस होते थे, तो उन्हें लगा ये भी कोई गरीब किसान ही है. तो उन्होंने क्या किया? उनको भी बाहर ही बिठा दिया और उनको अंदर नहीं आने दिया. तो why was Gandhi not permitted to draw water from Rajendra Prasad's well? So options are, the servant thought Gandhi was another peasant. As Rajendra Prasad was not at home, Gandhi looked like a vagabond. Gandhi was a hurricane. क्या था आंसर? Yes, option A is the correct option. The servant thought Gandhi was another peasant. तो वहां पे तो भीड़ लगी रहती थी, तो सर्वेंट्स उनको उस कुएं से पानी नहीं लेने देते थे. Yes. Now let's move on to question number 22. Who received Gandhi at the Muzaffarpur station? Rajkumar Shukla, or we can call Shukla, J.B. Kripalani, Rajendra Prasad, Nehru. Remember, at Muzaffarpur, not at Calcutta. Here we have asked, who received Gandhi at the Muzaffarpur station? And the answer is J.B. Kripalani. Yes, option B, J.B. Kripalani is the correct option. Question number 23 is, Shukla led Gandhi to the house of a lawyer who later became the president of India. He was, कहाँ लेकर गया था शुक्ला? जो बाद में फर्स्ट प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया बने. यस, ऑप्शन बी, राजेंद्र प्रसाद. यहां तो कोई डाउट ही नहीं. Where did Gandhi stay for 2 days? At a peasant's house, at a lawyer's house, in a guest house, at Professor Malkani's house. When I was going through the lesson, I told you that during that time we were under British rule, और जितने भी गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स होते थे, अगर वो फ्रीडम फाइटर्स का साथ देते थे तो उनकी जॉब कभी भी जा सकती थी, उनकी जॉब रिस्क पर चली जाती थी. तो जल्दी से कोई इनका साथ नहीं देता था फ्रीडम फाइटर्स का. सो फिर भी प्रोफेसर मलकानी उनको अपने घर लेकर गए. तो विच ऑप्शन इज द करेक्ट वन? यस, ऑप्शन बी, at Professor Malkani's house. Very nice. Now let's move on to the next one. What was the attitude of the average Indian in smaller localities towards advocates of home rule? आमतौर पर कैसा एटीट्यूड रहता था छोटे जगहों पर? वो लोग बहुत डरते थे. Were they very welcoming? Were they very courageous? Were they happy to see? Or they were very fearful and indifferent? Yes. उस समय होम रूल के एडवोकेट्स के लिए छोटी जगह के लोग बहुत डरते थे उनका साथ देने में और indifferent. So option D here is the correct option. Okay, now question number 26 is, why was the government baffled? Because of lawyers' power, because of farmers, because of sharecroppers, because of the success of satyagrah movement by peasants. Yes. क्यों परेशान हो गई सरकार? लॉयर्स की पावर से नहीं, फार्मर्स से भी नहीं, शेयर क्रॉपर्स से भी नहीं, सत्याग्रह मूवमेंट की, किसानों की सत्याग्रह मूवमेंट की जो सक्सेस थी ना, उससे घबरा गए. So, which option do you think is the correct one? Yes, option D. What lesson did Gandhi teach by opposing Andrew's stay in Champaran? चंपारण में एंड्रयू को उन्होंने मना किया. एंड्रयू ने वॉलंटियर किया, एक ब्रिटिश पैसिफिस्ट था. वो गांधी जी के पास आया कि आई वांट टू हेल्प यू, बट गांधी जी डिड नॉट एक्सेप्ट हिज हेल्प. जबकि बाकी लॉयर्स भी कह रहे थे हाँ हाँ अच्छा हो जाएगा, बट गांधी जी रिफ्यूज्ड. व्हाई? बिकॉज he thought that British could not be trusted, because of self reliance, civil disobedience, none of the above. Yes, when I started with the lesson, I said Champaran episode is really important because from there onwards we started learning the lesson of self reliance. अगर हम अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ अंग्रेजों की मदद लेते हैं तो हम आत्मनिर्भर कैसे हुए? नहीं हुए ना. तो इसलिए रिफ्यूज किया. तो विच ऑप्शन? यस, ऑप्शन बी. Great. Now let's move on to the next one. Why did Gandhi appeal for teachers? क्यों अपील किया टीचर्स को कि प्लीज आप यहाँ आइए? To remove the cultural and social backwardness, to increase the literacy standard. He did not trust teachers of Champaran. He contented himself with large political and economic solutions. क्यों बुलाया था? मैंने बार बार कहा कि पॉलिटिकल और इकोनॉमिक सॉल्यूशन तो गांधी जी ने कर दिया था, बट व्हाट डिड ही ऑब्जर्व व्हेन ही स्टेड इन चंपारण फॉर 7 months? कि वहां के लोग कल्चरली और सोशली बहुत बैकवर्ड हैं. तो उनको सिखाने के लिए किसकी जरूरत थी? टीचर्स. सो विच ऑप्शन डू यू थिंक? यस, ऑप्शन ए इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन हियर. To remove the cultural and social backwardness. Understood? Let's move on to question number 29. Gandhi was informed by the magistrate that the case had been dropped, had been postponed, was a weak one, would be heard immediately. क्या गांधी को बाद में इन्फॉर्म किया गया मजिस्ट्रेट के द्वारा? डर गए ना सारे, उनकी बैकिंग दे, अरे इतने लोग उनकी सपोर्ट में खड़े हैं, तो दे वर सो स्केयर्ड. तो उन्होंने क्या किया? केस ही ड्रॉप कर दिया. सो विच ऑप्शन? ऑप्शन ए इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन में है. लेट्स मूव ऑन टू 2-3 questions left. Who accompanied Gandhi to the capital of Champaran? Rajendra Prasad, Shukla, several lawyers, crowd of peasants. Who accompanied Gandhi to the capital of Champaran? Yes, Rajkumar Shukla. Now, question 31 is, Gandhi dashed the lawyers for collecting big fees from the sharecroppers. डांटा था उन्होंने कि तुम इतना इतना पैसा इन गरीब किसानों से ले रहे हो. So, let's see the options. Condoned, rebuffed, sided, admired. डांटा था. तो ऑप्शन सी, he chided the lawyers. Question number 32 is, who was Charles Freer Andrews? Was he an English lawyer or an English pacifist, a freedom fighter? None of the above. अभी मैंने उनकी बात की थी तो मैंने बताया भी था. He was an English pacifist. सही को सही और गलत को गलत जो कहते हैं. He knew that Britishers were wrong with Indians. They were doing wrong with Indians. So that is why he wanted to help Gandhiji in this issue, which Gandhiji refused. He said, no, to fight against Britishers, we cannot take the help of Britishers. So option B is the correct option. So these were the MCQs. I know I had to take many because this chapter really is very important. So I want to go slow with this chapter so that we go through each and every uh, point or issue of this lesson so that we do not miss anything. So, hope you all enjoy. Great. In the next part of this lesson, we'll be taking short questions and long questions. So, please try to note down all these because they'll be really helpful when we revise the lesson for our examinations. And these small things help you in making short questions, framing answers. So when you know the have the knowledge of the lesson, you can frame simple sentences. So this is all for today. Now what you all have to do is, yes, like the video and kindly subscribe to my channel, those who have not yet done it. So ask your family members also to subscribe it. And this is all for today. Goodbye. Have a great day and stay safe.